On a chilly late January morning of 2018, a team of Brazil's top cooperative heads touched down in India. The long flight to New Delhi was with a purpose. Post this traditional welcome, the Brazilian team had business to do. They were here on the invitation of India's largest crop solutions company, UPL. The business delegation was here to understand India, the opportunities here, and to discover the business potential in India's booming agriculture sector. The drive from the airport to the plush hotel was an opportunity for the team to get their first glimpse of India's capital and how the country is now an investor's delight. The partially fogged streets and the minds would soon clear up as the team would witness the growth and opportunity of doing business with India. Over the next few days, Brazil's agriculture industry honchos would mix business with pleasure, beginning with a city tour of Delhi, traveling to the iconic Taj Mahal in Agra, visiting the country's largest milk cooperative union, Amul, in Manesar, close to New Delhi. Get a first-hand experience at a poultry farm in the state of Haryana's Sonepat city. Business meetings at India's most influential industry chamber, FICCI, and to India's largest private port, Mundra, in the prosperous state of Gujarat. Business meetings in the commercial capital of Mumbai with the UPL top management will cap the nearly week-long trip in India. But there's no better way to start a journey than to do a city tour of the capital first to observe the country's rich heritage, its people, and what makes it the world's fastest growing economy. Travel broadens the mind, and the mind journey began with a tour of Emperor Humayun's red sandstone tomb, the first garden tomb in India, dating back to 1569. The imposing Qutub Minar, the tallest brick minaret in the world, was next on the to-do list. The UNESCO World Heritage Site stands at a height of 72.5 meters. Locals informed that before the urbanization of New Delhi happened, you could see the entire Delhi from the top of Qutub Minar. It was now time to visit the #1 ranked wonder of the world. The team from Brazil took the Gatiman Express train to Agra, located about 4 hours away from New Delhi. No journey to India is complete without visiting the imposing Taj Mahal, constructed by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan on the banks of the river Yamuna in memory of his beloved queen Mumtaz. It was commissioned in 1632 and was completed 21 years later. Trinket shopping and a scrumptious lunch later. It was time to go back. There was business to be done. The next day, the team from Brazil got a first-hand experience at the world's largest milk cooperative union, Amul, also known for what's called as India's White Revolution, making India a surplus country in dairy products. The team visited the Dudhman Sagar dairy of Amul, which produces nearly 1 million liters of milk every day. Dairy farmers in the region have increased their income by 4 times in the last 7 years, thanks to the Amul revolution.
Amul is basically the Gujarat cooperative way back in 1950s, and we are part of that. This was the first plant to introduce Amul brand of milk in the Delhi market.
The team from Brazil was impressed by the facility here.
Liquid milk in polyfilm is about 950,000 liters per day. We have a capacity of ice cream we manufacture here that is about 100,000 liters per day.
The visitors had an extensive tour of the plant and were keen to scout for business opportunities, not just with Amul, but with Indian industry. Their next stop was important from that perspective.
We were able to demonstrate control on whitefly with our new products. So the farmers have big confidence. We have also brought from Brazil and also other countries the spraying machines, the mechanized spraying machines, so which can spray insecticide, 1 hectare in 20 minutes. Farmers were using, it takes full day.
The India-Brazil Agriculture Partnership at India's largest industry chamber, FICCI, was where the team got an insight into doing business with India.
And this way you come, we were started at the behest of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, in the year 1927.
India was making waves and the numbers did the talking.
Most important policy change or policy initiative that the government of India has taken, besides of course we had demonetization, we want to move towards more openness, more transparency, more honesty, and we want to curb corruption at its root.
The business delegation identified sectors like edible oil, poultry, cattle feed, aquaculture, horticulture and protein foods where business can be done with India. Their consensus that there is a huge opportunity to increase trade between the two nations in the agriculture and related space. The Brazilian team saw lots of similarities between India and Brazil.
We have 600 members and we grow 120,000 hectares. We this means our members. And during summer soybean and corn, and during winter barley, wheat and oats. In this case, I don't know if you know, we do the double crop, 2 crops a year. At the same time a wheat mill and a corn mill and animal feed factory. And at the same time we have a foundation for research. And on the other side we have 1,600 employees, and our last turnover was $900 million.
We are all from the same region, the products are the same, but for us the most important is milk and meat, soybeans, corn. India, I think we can do business.
It was time for dinner soon at the famed Bukhara restaurant at ITC Maurya. The delegation also had the opportunity to interact with Mr. Jay Shroff, CEO of UPL. Giving company to the scrumptious food were wide-ranging discussions on how to take mutual business forward now that the window of opportunity had opened. Early next morning, the team left for Sonipat as guests of the Poultry Federation of India. Traditional Indian welcomes later, it was time to hunt for opportunities in India's booming poultry sector.
India is now 4th largest chicken producer in the world, and this is all done by small farmers. They are at par with best in the world.
The team took an extensive round of the poultry farm and understood the Indian way of doing business.
Rear the birds and they sell into the market, and buyer purchases those live birds can then do either slaughtering in a community slaughterhouse or they do slaughter in their own facilities. And second market is for eggs. For eggs market, there is another cooperative of farmers which releases daily price.
It was time for lunch, and the Haveli resort on the highway provided the perfect setting. This was followed by a visit to Mecca of Indian handicraft, the Cottage Emporium in the heart of New Delhi.
Trip is very, very interesting. We could have this opportunity to understand the Indian culture and the agribusiness.
Indian people really surprised me, being so welcoming, so accommodating, and such a peaceful. I always felt very welcome and very secure.
It is the first trip of these Brazilian cooperatives. They want to understand, they want to see and get the feeling about the agriculture and the people. They have also met some of the government officials. They will see them in the next couple of days and generate their own ideas, and whatever help as UPL we could do during this trip and also later, it will be a great pleasure for us to support that.
Early next morning, Brazil's top cooperative heads left to see at work India's largest Indian private sector port at Mundra in Gujarat. The multi-purpose terminals at the port contain 9 berths and has 21 closed dockside warehouses. The team spent considerable time here before leaving for UPL's headquarters in Mumbai. At UPL, the team got an insight into the Indian behemoth's farmer first positioning and how UPL is truly India's global agri-solutions company. Detailed presentations identified key areas where the team from Brazil could use the UPL expertise, including presentations by the company's top management and global consulting from McKinsey, who gave an insight into the opportunities present in India's agriculture ecosystem.
Brazil is one of the leading countries for production of food, and India also produces a very large volume of food. We are the second largest producer of food in the world, but at the same time we are also the very big consumer of food. And so we have to see that both from Brazil and India, what are the common parameters that we can learn from each other. The structures are very different. Brazil has very large farms of even more than 100,000 hectares. India has very small farms of less than 2 hectares, but both are able to produce large volume of food. So there is a lot of learning that which technology work for which structure of farms, etc. And that gives really a good perspective. And we also know that as UPL, we are the largest investor in the area of agriculture in Brazil. And Brazil is also looking for business opportunities for India in the food sector, which would also encourage to think about investment in agriculture sector in India. So therefore, we create jointly the opportunities.
It was time for the team to head back, having learned and explored the Indian way of doing business and how Brazil's cooperatives can gain from doing business with India.